Yo, what up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lucid Rob, and today we're gonna watch videos that you guys send me. All the crazy stuff, all the garbage stuff that we're being told by the government, and all the crazy alien, drone, ocean, flat Earth, hollow moon stuff we can think of. Anything you guys send me, we're gonna watch it, and I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight because of it. So, thanks for that.
What the?
So we all know the Pope just opened one of the holy doors, aka portals. But I'm not gonna lie, y'all. When I just watched the video, I swear I'm not tripping. I heard a little baby voice or a kid voice say, "Help me," when them doors open. Y'all gotta listen, bro. I know I'm not tripping. In general, just for him opening up these doors, I don't see why people not tripping in the first place. But look, y'all take a listen and tell me if I'm tripping. Make sure y'all listening. Am I tripping? Or I heard what I heard? And y'all let me know if I'm tripping on this too. But when he was getting rolled in that door, he looked hella nervous. I need y'all to drop y'all thoughts down below.
Why? Why are we opening doors to portals? Why is that a thing that we feel like needs to be done right now? Dude, there's so much crazy shit happening already. Let's just open 5 portals. Portals we've never opened. And let's just see what happens. You know, we already got aliens coming out of the water. We got drones that could either be China or aliens or the U.S. or civilians or whatever. Like, there's so much going on right now anyway. It's like, you know what? Let's just roll the dice. You know, these past couple years haven't been bad enough. Let's just really see how much we can shit up. I mean, whatever, dude. At this point, if aliens came down from the sky and they're like, yo, we're real, bro, and you're one of us. You want to come home? I don't even think I would bat an eye. Oh, Elvis is up there? Michael Jackson? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go hang out. Let's do the moonwalk. Put on our blue suede shoes and drink blue milk like in Star Wars. I'm here for it.
So just in case this wasn't enough, the Pope is unleashing the fallen angels on Christmas Eve. Why is Pope Francis opening 5 sacred portals? If they are doors, why are they calling them portals? And why is he performing a ritual never performed before by anyone? You remember the prophecy I gave in October where I said the days leading up to Christmas, there's going to be a light in the sky? Now here I am thinking that it was like a craft or maybe the Star of David, a comet, like the ones that the Magi followed for the birth of Jesus. But oh no. No. Now I think it's connected to whatever the Pope is doing. What if opening these portals provokes a downfall of watchers of fallen angels? Because in the old scriptures, when the angels fell, they looked like comets. The story of Samael crashing to earth was just like a huge meteorite, an explosion. So much so that when he comes out of the fiery crater, he is a totally new entity and they call him Satana. Aiutami a dire. Papa Francesco, put that back. Like, put that back. Last time I saw someone sealing someone into a wall with bricks, it was on the originals, and they were sealing vampires in there, okay? So, yeah. Ancient Egyptians taught us not to touch sealed off things. Yet here we are, always doing it. Yeah, but blame Pandora for opening the box. What are y'all doing? Aren't you doing the same? Close that shit back up.
You know, it's funny she said that there was going to be like a light in the sky. I don't know where she got that information from. I don't know if she's fucking psychic or she read it somewhere or did a series of videos before this one. I have no idea. This is the one that was sent to me. But there was around Christmas, I think the weekend before or something like that, very recent to right now, there were a ton. It was like a meteor shower you could see. Like, it was just happening. So let's say those could be fallen angels. What if the Pope is kind of in panic mode? let's just say the Pope is a good guy. What if he's in panic mode because some serious shit's happening? So he's opening these boxes and portals and doing things to prevent something from happening. Or on the other hand, popes, the Vatican's not the best people historically, and pretty sure that they are evil and not this light and holiness that they portray, to be on the outside. And maybe they're just doing some crazy stuff to just fuck shit up, I mean, that's kind of what I would go with probably. Just, we need more power. People are waking up. We need more power. Let's open 5 portals and just really get down and dirty in this stuff.
God demanded human sacrifice a lot. But why? Here are the 3 darkest times. First, Jephthah promises God if he wins a battle, he'll sacrifice the first thing to greet him. And he wins, and who runs out to greet him? His only daughter. So he offers her as a burnt virgin sacrifice. Doesn't that sound more like something the devil would demand than God? Then there's Abraham, who's told by God to sacrifice his own son. He ties Isaac up and raises the knife, but God says, hey, hold on, it was just a test. This story is supposed to teach unquestioning obedience to God, even if it means sacrificing your own kid. But the darkest story? God sends the angel of death to unalive every firstborn son in Egypt. The only way to be spared was to sacrifice a lamb and paint its blood on the door so the angel would pass over. That's where the celebration of Passover comes from. Could a loving God really demand this? Many early Christians believed this wasn't God at all. It was the devil. They said that Jesus came from a higher God of light to reveal the divinity within us. What do you think?
I think it's kind of funny, like with TikTok brain, let's say nowadays, right? This is going to be really dumb, but bear with me here. I just picture God having a TikTok. Like if that happened like nowadays and he went to like stab his son, God would be like, no, it's just a prank. It's just a prank. It's just a prank. And he probably uploaded the TikTok and get a bunch of views. So I was watching a video today about just like shithead YouTubers and stuff, just doing stupid stuff for clicks. And I just thought of that. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I say this all the time. I'm not really big on the whole like good versus evil thing. I feel like it's relative to lots of different facets, right? There are lots of variables as to what's good and evil. I think there's good and bad and dark and light and everything. So to think that there's just like one entity that just like controls all the darkness and one entity that controls all the light I don't really jive with that. So I don't know, but I could very well see like an evil entity basically just kind of pretending to be a good entity and getting people to do their bidding, and then a good entity, which would be Jesus in this case, like stepping in eventually, like, okay, this shit's gone too far, dude. Like this has gone way too far. I'm stepping in now, and we're changing things.
The actual reason TikTok is being banned that no one is talking about. Recently, a book on TikTok surfaced called The Forgotten Apothecary. The book contains stolen information from another book called the Bandanius Manuscript, which was a book that contains secret ancient herbal remedies to our everyday problems. The Bandanius Manuscript is currently hidden in the Vatican Library, but The Forgotten Apothecary holds the secrets from the manuscript that big companies do not want us to know about. Before, you could only purchase the book off the dark web. It was recently made available on the Tik Tok Shop, which is the reason TikTok is being banned. I linked it for you below. Get one now before it is too late.
Okay, that's stupid. That was an ad. Someone sent me an ad just then. No, if you didn't know that, that's fine. I know a lot of people send me these videos, not watching the whole thing. They'll just be like, see the first like couple seconds and be like, oh, that sounds interesting. I'd like to hear Rob's take on that. That one was an ad. I don't think that TikTok is being banned because of a secret book that's being sold on TikTok Marketplace. That was a really good ad, though. Not gonna lie, that was they had us in the first half there. Had us in the first half.
The Blue Beam Project marks the beginning of total population control. This delusional project aims to stage a large-scale fake extraterrestrial invasion worldwide, with UFOs visible in the sky, and to introduce a fake god to save humanity from this invasion. It would employ highly realistic secret military technology, and they have recently conducted tests. The result is crazy. I currently have a video of these tests, but if I show it to you, I might not be free in 24 hours. The ultimate goal would be to eradicate all religions and establish a single unified religion, thereby achieving complete control over the population through fear. This project, combined with the Heart Project, would enable the manifestation of a religious figure capable of causing earthquakes, storms, and natural disasters to more strongly modify the belief systems of the masses. Remember in Spider-Man Far From Home when they used holograms to portray a stereo as a hero? Now recall this phrase. In the movie, we'll tell them the truth, and in reality, we'll lie to them. Tell me what you think about it, and remember that if aliens ever invade us, don't believe it.
I just got to start by saying I'm incredibly proud of my big sister. She's not a big conspiracy theorist. During the whole jab thing, you know, the mandatory jab thing, the past couple years, she was definitely kind of on board with it being nefarious, like I was. But she's not really into conspiracy theories, right? Like, I don't talk. She doesn't watch my channel. She's a very busy woman. Doesn't really talk about conspiracy theories ever. But for some reason, the drones and stuff came up in a conversation between both my sisters and I. And my sister I'm referring to about the jabs told me out of nowhere, she was like, I think it's Project Bluebeam. And I was like, what? Can you say that again? Please say that again. And she's like, it's Project Bluebeam. Have you heard of it? And she sent me like a video and stuff. And I'm like, sister, if you only knew how much I have heard about Project Bluebeam and how proud I am of you. Sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit right now thinking about it. That my big sister is waking up. And the rest of the world is waking up to this. And yes, I 100% believe Project Bluebeam is true. I don't know if these drones that we're seeing right now are part of that. I think they could be. But then again, they could also be like, you know, China. Like another like another country, you know, coming in and screwing with us. And we really don't know, right? I mean, for the government to say, and I'm sorry, we're talking about drones now. It's unrelated to this last video, but it could be related to it, so I'm talking about it. For the government to say that, the U.S. government to say that we don't know what they are, but they don't pose a threat. Like, you can't say it doesn't pose a threat if you don't know what they are. So I think they know what they are. It could very well be not a threat, all the drones and shit. But, I mean, if it was, it wouldn't tell us anyway. So, like, we never really know. We never really know. But Project Bluebeam, yes, absolutely. I wish real aliens would come and be, like, super cool with us. But, unfortunately, I think that it will be the government trying to take control of us when we finally do see aliens invading our planet. So that sucks, but that's the reality of it.
Have you tried to look into religion at all, such as the crucifixion? Do you have? Do you not want to talk about that? Okay.
I know, she just kind of looked like maybe she had some gas, you know, just like a little gassy, a little verklempt up here. Like she was gonna like burp or vomit. I'm not really sure how I feel about psychics. I grew up like with my mom, like watching Montel Williams and Sylvia Brown, you know, and Miss Cleo and shit like that. Like, ooh, call Miss Cleo and, you know, we'll tell you about your love life and shit. I almost did a very offensive accent. I caught myself. Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about psychics. I think, I don't know. I mean, if I were to think back, if I were to really meditate right now and think about everything that I know about the crucifixion and how terrible it supposedly was, you know, as far as like the descriptions of it and stuff, I think I have a vivid enough imagination where I could see it in a way that would physically disturb me and mentally disturb me. So I just think about that, and like this chick here that just like didn't want to talk about it. She's like, I'm too disturbed to talk about it because I thought about it and I saw things. Like, I feel like I could have that same reaction. So is that really being a psychic, or is it just like your imagination? Because there's really no way to gauge that, right? Like, until you give me like the Powerball numbers and I win the jackpot, like, I'm going to be very iffy about psychics.
And first up, what if I told you there's proof Diddy performs strange satanic-like rituals on his party guests? See, in 2004, Diddy threw himself a birthday party that appeared to be just like the rest. He invited celebrities like Will Smith, Owen Wilson, and a bunch of other famous people to come over, have drinks, and eat dinner. But when it was time for the food to come out, that's when things took a dark turn. Out came a table full of grapes, chocolate-covered strawberries, and a woman lying on her back, fully nude. If that wasn't creepy enough, Diddy lit up multiple candles and had his guests worship the woman. Then, everyone proceeded to eat food right off her body. The creepiest part is, these photos were hidden for 20 years until someone dug these up. What other creepy photos and videos will come out soon? But anyways, it gets even creepier in our second honorable mention, because we gotta talk about the time in 2017 when Diddy got way too drunk on a podcast and accidentally showed his true self. Just pay attention to how he makes an entire room of grown men terrified.
The white parties, held annually from 1998 to 2009, were synonymous with luxury and wild behavior. Celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lopez, and Kim Porter were regulars, and the events often mixed Hollywood glamour with eyebrow-raising antics. Reports claim guests indulged in not-so-hidden excesses, including substances like ecstasy and cocaine, with some accounts suggesting they were consumed off models' bodies. Photos from these parties highlight moments of extravagance, like topless women pouring champagne in pools and groups of men posing for photos. The mix of provocative and indulgent behavior created a party atmosphere that was as scandalous as it was stylish, cementing Diddy's white parties as a hallmark of Hollywood excess during that era. Picture 16. Tommy Lee, the drummer from Mötley Crüe, was known for his rock and roll persona, full of wild antics and a carefree attitude, which was often seen at parties like Diddy's white parties. At these extravagant gatherings, Lee was often spotted sipping champagne and mingling with other high-profile guests. His notorious rock star lifestyle, full of reckless behavior, made him a fitting figure at Diddy's celebrity-packed soirees. Lee and Diddy were no strangers to each other, often rubbing shoulders in the same social circles.
First of all, the first clip, I'm incredibly angry that it cut off the way it did. I hate when they do that, dude. Hate when they do that. Just put it on in one video. I don't want it broken up into multiple videos. I don't want to have to look for it because it doesn't play the next video immediately after. So then I have to go in on this random video that's sent to me, and I have to try to find part 2 in an entire like cavalcade of other video clips, unrelated and related. It's a pain in the ass, but so screw you, person that made that video. I mean, thank you for the content, but screw you for breaking it up into multiple videos like that, because I'm not going to watch the second one, like, ever, probably, until one of you send it to me. And the other thing with, like, the people hanging out at the parties, like, I think it's super unfortunate because nowadays, like, everybody digs up everything, right? So no doubt there were a lot of people there for sure that were probably involved in the stuff and were like okay with whatever was happening, like no matter how screwed up it was. But then there were also people that were just like could have got a picture like their first time meeting Diddy, and then like now it's just they're stuck with that image, right? Like, which I know like you're responsible for the people you hang out with, you know, you have to pick your poison and choose your crowd and stuff. But you figure like people that are just coming up in Hollywood, or people that are in Hollywood and are actually like good people, possibly, if that is even a thing in Hollywood, if there's such thing as good people in Hollywood, just shaking someone's hand or like doing a photo op to try to get like some clout, like, oh, look who I'm with, you know, and not realizing that they're a shitty person with like skeletons in their closet. And then years later something comes up and it's like, oh, look, this person's best friends with this person because they took a picture together, you know, randomly, you know, at a sporadic meeting in like a restaurant or something. So I don't know, man, social media can definitely be deceiving, and that sucks, but at the same time, like, you vet your friends, you know, like vet your friends, you know, vet the people in your life.
You know that declassified CIA document that says we live in a holographic reality, that the woman's womb is a portal, that you can literally send your consciousness to anywhere, whether it's past, present, or future, through astral projection and remote viewing? Yeah, well, the reason why the CIA was looking into this, because of this man. This is Robert Monroe. My previous video was all about him. He was born in the 1900s and he was a very successful businessman. Around 30 to 40, he started having these spontaneous out-of-body experiences. They freaked him out. He thought he had brain tumors. He thought he was going crazy. Every doctor he went to said he was perfectly fine. So he used his resources to hire a team of scientists to run experiments to figure out if what he's been experiencing could be replicated. He wanted to see if they could map out and explore as much of consciousness as they could. This is Thomas Campbell, an incredibly gifted physicist who was part of Bob Monroe's team. Campbell is very famous for his works in applied physics and metaphysics. So why did he want to work with Robert Monroe? When he was in college, he had some monks that came who offered to teach people how to meditate if they brought them a piece of fruit, I believe. He had time to kill. He thought it was going to end up being a scam. He gave his banana, and it was a life-changing experience for him. Being the scientist that he is, he was trying to figure out how to explain what he experienced, and he couldn't. So he got a job and continued to meditate. One day, he heard that Bob Monroe was coming into town talking about the out-of-body experiences that he's had. He with some coworkers went to go listen to him. Monroe mentioned that he was looking for scientists so that they could test what he experienced to see if they could replicate it. Campbell was like, I'm a scientist. I'd love to work with you. But you see, Campbell was still relatively young. Monroe was looking for older scientists that had some credibility to their name, who had a track record, but none of them wanted to work with him. They all thought it was woo-woo nonsense. Campbell and a couple of other young scientists joined the team. Campbell's biggest focus was to bring scientific validation to everything that was being done. He wanted to demystify the mysticism. He wanted to use the scientific process to explain everything. So they studied it systematically. They were able to separate genuine experiences from anecdotal claims or misunderstandings. His book, My Big Toe, which documents the entire journey, freaking mind-blowing, guys. Freaking mind-blowing. For example, in the East, they talk about these sacred mantras, sacred words that if you repeat can take you to higher states of consciousness. What they found through testing is that it's not specific word, but rather the tone, the vibration that it carries. I believe in the book he says you could even say something like Abba-bardi-dum, and just repeat that. You can achieve the same thing. It honestly is one of the most fascinating books I've ever read. It bridges the gap between science and spirituality so well. But it doesn't stop there. He describes his journey of being able to access higher states of consciousness and the interdimensional beings that live in a higher vibration than we do, spiritual guides, if you will, he met and the teachings he got along the way. You know how there's a declassified CIA document that maps out the Galactic Federation? Yeah, well, some people have experience with it. Craziest thing too is you only have access to it if they let you have access. He described one journey where he was meditating and basically there were two beings. They're like, hey man, you're where you need to be with your progress. You can't do this anymore. And he's like, the door was sealed. He wasn't able to access those states of consciousness for 20 years until someone reopened it. The reason why he called the book My Big Toe is because these are the things that he has learned through experience. And his only objective is to lay out the information so that other people can gain knowledge through experience, which of course experience is the greatest teacher. So what does Thomas Campbell say that this life is? Oh, he says it's a simulation. Yeah, he says we're in a holographic reality that is a projection of consciousness that you are both a creator and participant in. You ever had that experience where you're like, man, this doesn't even feel real? Thomas Campbell has something to say about that.
Well, looks like I got a new book to read, everybody. That's super crazy. So I've been getting more into the whole like interdimensional like spirituality thing, and it really started when I started like taking psychedelics in the past like 4 years. I'm not gonna lie, I eat a lot of mushrooms, and I've had some experiences that it seems very real. Like dreams feel real, obviously. Lucid dreams feel incredibly real, but I feel like when you are like just going like deep with fungus, it's real. Like, I mean, that's all I could say, right? I've talked to what I thought were other beings and asked questions and got answers and to things. And it's kind of crazy though, because it's really hard to put it into words when you come back down to like reality, right? And that could be part of the simulation, kind of like, keeping you within the confines of the code, the programming, right? That might be why it's so hard to actually put things into word and express exactly what you saw or experienced while you were, out of yourself, like during like psychedelics or something like that. And for the sake of YouTube, don't do drugs, everyone. Bad. But yeah, I've been getting more into this stuff, and it's definitely bridging the gap between science and spirituality is incredibly interesting because it's the same shit. Everyone just called it something different, right? Whether you're spiritual, whether you're a Satanist, whether you're a Christian, whether you're an atheist and a scientist, like whatever it is, like it all comes kind of to the same point of what is happening and what we're experiencing. And it doesn't make it any different, doesn't make it any better or any worse, because you call it by something else. We all just find the thing that we relate to the best based on our values, our characteristics, and just kind of apply that and the core teachings, the fundamentals around that, whether it be Christianity or science or whatnot, so on and so forth, and apply that to ourselves. But overall, we're all experience the same thing. We all want the same thing out of life for the most part: happiness, freedom, health, wealth, just like good experience while we're here for the short time that we're here. And it's becoming a lot more clear that we're all connected in one way or another, whether it be all created from the same supreme being or we're all part of the same supreme being and just here to experience different aspects of a life that we created, or we're just part of a simulation and we just kind of have our roles and we think we have free will, and we don't, and all this is predetermined and nothing matters, and we're all gonna go in the end the same way and look back and not be able to see anything because we're gone. So great, awesome. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the videos. Lucid Crew, my subscribers, you guys are awesome. My members who, you know, donated in the channel, anybody who donates, joins, subscribes, you know, pays for the custom emojis, the tinfoil hat emoji that I just added so you can use it in live chat. It's super helpful to me. I can't thank you guys enough for supporting the channel. If this is your first time watching and you made it all the way to this point when I'm plugging the whole subscribe, like, comment thing, like, I appreciate you. And do consider subscribing to the channel, or even just liking or leaving a comment if you hate it or love it. It would just do me a really big favor just to have you know, and it would feel good for you to care enough to at least give me some feedback, you know, good or bad, whatever. I respect you and I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you have an amazing rest of your night, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.